Do you ever feel like you're constantly trying to keep everyone happy? Like you're always saying yes, even when you want to say no. And at first, it seems like the right thing to do. You're being helpful, kind, easy to get along with. But somewhere along the way, something shifts. You stop feeling like you're doing things for people and you start feeling like you're doing things because you're afraid not to. You're left asking yourself, am I even living for me anymore? If you've ever felt stuck between wanting to please others and needing to protect your peace, this episode is for you. And welcome back to Block Out the Noise, the go-to podcast for teens and young adults who are ready to quiet the noise of anxiety, self-doubt, and overthinking. I'm Jessica Davis, a licensed therapist and mindset coach for teens and young adults, and the creator of the Courage Method, a framework designed to help you take control of your thoughts, trust yourself, and build the confidence to move forward. Just a quick reminder, this podcast is here to support and guide you, but it is not a replacement for talking to someone in real life. If you're struggling with mental health, please reach out to a therapist. And if you're in a crisis, contact emergency services or a local helpline. You don't have to go through it alone. Also, if you need more support between episodes, you can download the free Anxiety Survival Toolkit linked in the show notes. It's full of practical tools you can use when anxiety starts taking over. If you've ever bent over backwards to make others happy, even when it hurt you, today's episode is definitely going to be for you. Let's talk about what people pleasing really is, where it comes from, and how to start choosing you without feeling guilty for it. All right, let's cut through the noise and get started. I've had clients, friends, and even family members express how exhausting it is to constantly try to please everyone around them. It definitely feels like a no-win situation. You go over and beyond to meet someone else's expectations. But if things don't work out, then what? That's the trap. When you make the decision someone else wanted and it doesn't go well, it leads to resentment because deep down, you knew it wasn't your choice to begin with. I often tell people, they, and they being whoever you are trying to please, they get to live their life and make their decisions. They don't get to live yours too. But people pleasing convinces us that our own voice isn't enough. It makes us believe we're not equipped to make our own choices. So we hand the power over to other people. At first, it feels like a weight has been lifted, like the pressure's off because someone else is steering. But eventually, you start to feel like a bystander in your own life. You feel disconnected, unfulfilled, and out of alignment with who you really are because the decisions you're making aren't really yours. You're just trying to avoid disappointing someone else. But here's the part that really sucks. Even when you do everything right, even when you say yes, go along, keep the peace, some people will still be disappointed. So instead of trying to live up to everyone else's expectations, maybe the most powerful thing you could do is start listening to your own. Brene Brown once said, daring to set boundaries is about having courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. And that couldn't be truer. So let's talk about how to start letting go of people pleasing so you can live a life that feels more like you. Step 1, pause before you say yes. Sometimes we literally say yes so fast we don't even think about what we want. Next time someone asks something of you, pause even just for 5 seconds. Say, let me check on that and get back to you. And in that pause, ask yourself, do I actually want to say yes? If I say yes, what am I saying no to? Right? Because in order to say yes to something, you are giving up something else. Would I still do this if I didn't feel guilty? Make sure that this is something you actually want to do. That space, those few seconds can change everything. And if you're still unsure after the pause, just say, let me check on that and get back to you. I'm not really sure about my schedule. Step 2, Get clear on what you want. People pleasing often clouds your ability to make decisions that actually align with your needs. Ask yourself, if no one had an opinion, what would I want to do? If I chose what felt right for me, not for anyone else, what would that decision be? When you make choices based on your internal compass, on what feels right to you, you begin to build a life rooted in authenticity instead of approval. Step 3, set boundaries with confidence. Research from Dr. Nedra Glover Tawwab, author of Set Boundaries, Find Peace, shows that clear communication is one of the best tools for reducing people-pleasing tendencies. Here are some things that you can say to communicate your needs. I really appreciate you asking, but I'm not able to do that right now. That doesn't feel right for me, but I hope it works out for you. I've thought about it, and I need to go with what feels best for me. The more you practice using your voice in small moments, the easier it will become in big ones. Let's pause and reflect. Think of a moment where you said yes, but something in your body felt off. Not guilty, just off. The tension you felt. That's your body trying to tell you something. This week, instead of ignoring that feeling, listen to it. Ask yourself, what do I really want here? And now for your courageous moment. This week, practice saying no, or even just pausing once. No. Practice saying no. Honestly, even if it's small, even if it's scary, you don't need to people please your way into being worthy. You already are. I like to close with this quote from Oprah Winfrey. She said, "Don't sacrifice yourself too much, because if you sacrifice too much, there's nothing else you can give, and nobody will care for you if you don't care for yourself." And if you really think about how deep that is, right? That nobody will care for you if you don't care for yourself. If you are giving everything to everyone, by the time you're depleted and you really need help, no one will be there. Honestly, you were never meant to please everyone. You were meant to live your truth. And the more you practice setting boundaries, honoring your needs, and trusting your voice, the more you'll feel that truth come alive. If this episode gave you something to think about or helped you feel seen, share it with someone who might need that same reminder. And don't forget to check out the Anxiety Survival Toolkit in the show notes. It's free, it's practical, and it's here to support you when anxiety or self-doubt start to creep in. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, keep moving forward, trust yourself, and never forget, you have what it takes to block out the noise.